A giant creature has awakened from its slumber under the depths of the ocean near Gamora, and now it's heading straight for Metropolis. Will Jon Kent's Superman be able to calm the creature down in time, or will he have to resort to a much more lethal approach? Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 7, continues to be a Superman book unlike anything we've seen before, because Jon Kent isn't just facing off against supervillains, but actual threats that we in the real world are currently facing in today's society. Jay's organization, The Truth, has mostly been in the background of the series thus far, but it's in this issue where we are given a much closer look at the organization and how they function as a journalistic entity, not to mention that the group also includes familiar faces from Taylor's Suicide Squad series, so if you are a fan of that, then you will definitely appreciate the moment. Now everything comes to a head when word that a kaiju monster is swimming for Metropolis, which conveniently sets up Bendix's post-human Gamora Corps in order to make the island nation appear as saviors. And since we are dealing with oceans and sea monsters, we get to see Jackson Hyde, the Aqua Lad, splash his way in for a cameo. And I'm glad that Jon and Jackson really get to team up in this issue. And maybe Jackson, being an openly gay character, can perhaps provide advice to Jon, who maybe is feeling weird or awkward about his sexuality, if that's the direction, Taylor's going for. If not, it's cool. Either way, it's cool seeing Aqua folk show up, because that's always a good time. The alliance between Luthor and Bendix has been teased for quite some time, but what's unique about it is that Luthor is undeniably the less dangerous one of the two. Under Taylor's pen, Bendix is turning into something very close to Marvel's Doctor Doom, which is kind of funny because, most comic book readers would state the claim that Lex is DC's Doctor Doom and vice versa. When it comes to the art, Tommy's work is pretty good. There's great lighting and detail with the ocean environment, in particular the panels of Jon and Jackson going into the sea. These panels are memorizing, and it gives a great sense of movement and action. He also draws their facial expressions with great detail and with emotional lining that makes this issue feel more immersive, whilst taking you along with Jon's point of view. The city itself is bathed in pinks, and the kaiju that Superman faces off against has a good texture in its exoskeleton, thus making it even more imposing. The colors by Hi-Fi are great, especially the luscious range of blues for the ocean and the coloring of the characters and their skin tones. Dave Sharp's letters are always on point and efficiently placed on the pages, so that we're able to see all the fantastic artwork and can follow along easily with the overarching story. Top notch, just like every other issue before it. Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 7 gets an 8 out of 10. Our story picks up with a majority of Metropolis's population watching The Truth, which is letting the city know that the devastation that has occurred is not Superman's fault, and that the deaths of the Gamorrean Corps are not his fault either, because at the end of the day, the Gamorrean Corps ruined everything. But before we find out exactly what was happening, we flash back in time as we pick up with Jay and Jon, with Jay having just found out that his mother is still alive, being held prisoner by President Bendix. However, this conversation will have to be put on hold till later, because right now they are heading to a very secret location out in the ocean towards a fishing vessel. And this is when Jay gives Jonathan a mask to put over his head, because he has brought him here so that he can offer him a job, for this is the location of The Truth. This is their HQ. Now The Truth is filled with post-humans and many humans alike, people whom have all come together to fight against President Bendix. But some of these people would prefer to keep their identities a secret, and so because of that, everyone wears a mask. Yet it's completely by choice, so you don't have to worry, it's not like the Squid Game. In case, you forget to bring your mask, no one's gonna shoot you in the fucking face. So that's a plus. Plus, if you join Truth, you can choose an alias, a different name. Therefore, with Jon believing that this is the best course of action in order to stop President Bendix, whilst rescuing people in the process, Superman Jon Kent joins Truth. But amid their conversation, this is when Superman detects something coming from the ocean, and from there, he tells Jay to get back to the port and to get everyone to safety, because there's a giant monster heading straight for Metropolis. Elsewhere, we see President Bendix getting on the phone with Lex Luthor, whom are both detecting the Leviathan that's making its way towards the city. Now, before Lex Luthor can handle the situation, President Bendix stops him because he wants to be the one to handle it. He wants to use this situation in order to introduce the Gamorrean Corps, thus only needing the assistance of Lex Luthor for his teleporter, so that he can move the post-humans to the location, so that they can get into the fight. And alas, this is what Lex Luthor has been doing. This is what he refers to as the Rising Beginning, as it appears that Lex Luthor believes that post-humans may be the answer to getting rid of Superman and the Justice League. And so as the Leviathan monster makes its way closer to the city, we see Superman jumping into action, with him saving as many people as he can whilst coming face to face with the monster. But at the same time, Jon's trying to figure out on why this Leviathan just rose up randomly to attack the city. Therefore, going down into the water, this is where we see Aqualad, who's also trying to figure out the same thing, whilst doing his best to try and stop and slow the monster. And while Aqualad is doing that, we have Superman going to the bottom of the ocean in order to find out where this thing came from, to which he sees a giant crater where the Leviathan monster used to lay doormat peacefully. Eventually, Superman finds a type of dead zone within the ocean, an entire section that is devoid of any oxygen. Essentially, this is what caused the monster to rise to the surface, for the monster is simply trying to stay alive. It's just scared and confused, and it doesn't know what to do. Now, we can only assume that this has something to do with Lex Luthor and President Bendix, but what Superman and Aqualad try to do is to stop the Leviathan from getting to Metropolis. Thus, Superboy freezes the water in front of the monster, while Aqualad takes control of the current and pushes it away from the city. Basically, the heroes are banking on the possibility that the monster will go along with the current, and at first it seems to be working. But as the monster begins to turn around, this is where laser beams start to shoot at the monster. And from there, this is where we are introduced to the Gamorrean Corps. Yet regardless of their powers, none of it's working. Rather, it's only making the monster angrier. Now eventually, the Leviathan has finally had enough. It's like, you know what, fuck you guys, I'm gonna kill y'all. And so he goes to lift up his giant claw and prepares to strike. However, we see that the post-human, known as Sparks, randomly being unable to move. However, he is being controlled by President Bendix, who wants this to happen, for he wants this to be a tragic scene, a tragic spectacle. Essentially, folks, this is a smear campaign, an opportunity to make Superman look terrible. Thus, with a member of the Gamorrean Corps going down, and with Superman not doing anything to save him, regardless of the circumstance, this is going to look extremely bad against him. For Bendix will use this as an advantage to try and discredit Jon Kent, to discredit Superman and everything that he stands for. And that, folks, was the end of Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 7. And thank you guys for checking out my video, as it truly means the world to me. And as always, I'm your majestic sailor of words, SuperCliff, and if you guys are new to the channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button. And also hit the notification bell so that you'll never miss out on an upload, and so that you'll always be kept up to date with your favorite top tier comics happening in the comic book world. Now tell me, what are your thoughts and opinions on this issue? Are you guys excited for issue number 8? Let me know down in the comment section below. And until the next video, peace.